Hello and welcome. Welcome to learning session number 7 of chapter number 9 of Science 1, which is carbon compounds. Okay, so far what all have we seen? Um, we have seen ionic and covalent bonds. We had seen dot structure and line structure to show covalent bonds between different atoms. We had seen catenation, in which carbon can form stable bonds with itself and other atoms to form long chains of molecules. And we had seen isomerism, where the molecular formula is the same, but the structural formula is different. We had seen hydrocarbons and types like alkanes with only single bonds, alkenes with double bonds, alkynes with triple bonds, right? We had seen types of carbon compound based on arrangement of carbon atom. For example, the carbon atoms could be in a straight chain, they could be in branched chain, or they could be in cyclic form or a closed loop. Okay. Then we had seen functional groups, for example, ketone, we had seen amines, we have seen aldehydes. All these are examples of functional groups. Homologous series are a series of compounds which have the same functional group, but the differences in the length of the carbon chain. Okay, so there will be a few molecules which have the same functional group but different number of carbon atoms in the chain. Okay, so that's called as homologous series. And we had seen a few characteristics about homologous series, right? One characteristic which I remember is they will be chemically similar. Physical properties will show gradation. For example, we had seen in an example where the boiling point slowly goes on increasing as we move on to one member of homologous series to another. Then one methylene group gets added each time we move down, right? CH2 gets added every time. Atomic number gets added by 14 atomic units. So all these were characteristics of homologous series. Then we had seen IUPAC nomenclature. The steps were: first count the number of carbon atoms, then you will come to know the parent name, then see which functional group is there in that particular molecule, and according to that functional group add prefix or suffix. Prefix यानी parent name के पहले, suffix यानी parent name के बाद में. And the last step is to check on which carbon, what is the number of the carbon atom on which that functional group is. Okay, so that was IUPAC nomenclature. And then in the last learning session, we had seen chemical properties of carbon compounds, and the four types of reactions we had seen were combustion. What is combustion? Combustion means burning. So whenever you burn carbon compounds, it is going to get combined with the oxygen in the air, and it is generally going to form products of carbon dioxide, water, and it is going to give a lot of heat. Then we had seen oxidation, which is nothing but combining with oxygen. Then we had seen addition, where many reactants come together to form a single product, that is addition reaction. And substitution reaction. Substitution reaction is where one atom or a group of atom is substituted or replaced by another group of atoms or atom. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. What is substitution reaction? A reaction in which from the reactant side, one atom or a group of atom is going to get substituted, or instead of using the word substituted, you could also use the word replaced. So one atom or a group of atom will get replaced by some other atom or some other group of atom. That's substitution reaction. We had seen examples in all four of these, right? Today we're going to see an important carbon compound, ethanol, in detail. Okay, ethanol. Okay, the objective for today is going to be students will be able to explain chemical properties of ethanol. Okay, the new words we're going to learn today are commercial, soluble, condemned. यहाँ पे this is an interesting word. Okay, condemned. So I am saying con, dem is dem, and directly I'm saying ed. So n is silent over here. Okay, n is silent. Condemned. Uh, Next, physiological. Okay, physiological. Next is nervous system. Some biology is coming in now in chemistry chapters. Nervous system. We're going to see the connection between ethanol and our nervous system today. Consumption, lethal, and inference. Okay, these new words we will be able to learn by the end of this learning session. Okay, so there are two important carbon compounds which have been which have been given in detail in your textbook. Okay, those two are ethanol and ethanoic acid. Both of them we are going to see in detail. In today's learning session, we're only going to focus on ethanol. In the next learning session and probably our last learning session, we're going to look at ethanoic acid and we are going to learn its properties. Okay, so ethanol and ethanoic acid are two of the commercially important carbon compounds. Commercially important matlab kya? What is the meaning of commercially? So the meaning of commercially is to make profits. Okay, so many companies are going to use these two carbon compounds to make profits by selling their products. Okay, so what is ethanol? So ethanol, it's a liquid at room temperature. It is colorless. It has no color at room temperature, and its boiling point is 78 degree Celsius. Also, ethanol is soluble in water. It means what is the meaning of the word soluble? It mixes easily. Okay, it will mix in water. That's the meaning of it is soluble in water in all proportions. Okay, थोड़ा सा ethanol डालो फिर भी mix होगा, बहुत ज़्यादा ethanol डालो फिर भी mix हो जाएगा. Okay, so in all proportions ethanol is soluble in water, it will mix in water. When aqueous solution of ethanol is tested, okay, so aqueous solution matlab kya? Aqua means water. So aqueous solution yani a mixture of ethanol and water, that will be called as aqueous solution of ethanol. Okay, when it is tested with litmus paper, do you remember litmus paper? Litmus paper is used to check whether something is an acid or a base. So the way I remember it is BRA and RBB. Okay, so BRA is blue, red, acidic, and RBB is red, blue, basic. Okay, so when a litmus paper, blue litmus paper turns into red color, you know that the substance is acidic. Uska ulta will be when a red litmus paper turns into a blue litmus paper, it is basic. Acids and base are opposites of each other. So BRA, RBB. This is how in just 6 letters I remember this. Okay. So litmus paper. So when you put litmus paper in aqueous solution of ethanol, it is found to be neutral. Okay, it is neither acidic nor basic. It is neutral. For example, zero. Zero is neither positive, neither negative. Neither positive nor it is negative, right? So it's similar is the case with ethanol. Neither acidic nor basic. It is neutral. Okay, so these were some basic details. And if you go into chemistry labs, this is how in such bottles they will be keeping ethanol. Okay, यहाँ पे फ्लेम का साइन दिख रहा है, बहुत छोटा साइन है, फ्लेमेबल है वो, सो इट कैन इजीली कॉट कैच फायर. So you have to be very careful when you use ethanol in laboratories. Okay, next, generally ethanol is called alcohol or spirit. Okay, so जो हम लोग alcohol बोलते हैं in our common day to day life, when we are not talking about chemistry, when we are not talking about science, when we use the word alcohol for basically Hindi में दारू, so that generally it will have ethanol. Okay, so alcohol में ethanol present होगा. Next, consumption of small quantity of dilute ethanol. Dilute यानी बहुत ज्यादा strong नहीं है, यानी उसमें थोड़ा पानी ऐड किया है. Okay, so dilute ethanol को अगर consume किया, consumption यानी either you drink it or eat it. Okay, so consumption, this word is used for either drinking or eating. So in case of ethanol, it is going to be people are going to drink it, right? So consumption of small quantity of dilute ethanol, ज्यादा strong नहीं है फिर भी, और छोटा quantity में अगर हम लोग ने consume कर लिया, it shows its effect. Okay, even though it is condemned, it still has remained socially widespread practice. Condemned यानी क्या? Condemned यानी it is looked down upon. People think that it is not a good thing to do. People think it's a bad thing to do. Okay, so drinking alcohol is considered bad by a society, right? But even then, सबको पता है कि वो बुरा होता है, सबको पता है वो दारू नहीं पीना चाहिए. इवन देन socially widespread practice है, यानी if you see around you, you can still see people consuming alcohol. In fact, during the lockdown, people were so sad about the fact that all the wine shops were closed, so they could not get alcohol. Some people are genuinely addicted to alcohol. They cannot sleep well if they don't drink alcohol. They don't feel good if they don't drink alcohol. So it's very easily addictive also. Okay, so you need to be very careful with respect to alcohol. अगर एक बार तुम लोग की बॉडी को आदत लग गई अल्कोहल की, it is very difficult to get rid of it. Okay. Next, consumption of alcohol harms health in number of ways. Everyone knows this, and even when people know this, they continue drinking alcohol. Okay, it's not good for our health. It adversely affects the physiological process. What's the meaning of physiological? Physiological any normal processes, normal functions of your body. इसका मतलब है physiological. Physiological is made up of the word physics, right? Physics. So physics of the body, physiological. So physics of biology. Physics plus biology is physiological. So physics of your body means your body का function is adversely affect, यानी our body cannot function normally. The central nervous system, it affects our central nervous system. Do you remember what is central nervous system? So central nervous system we had studied in biology. So whenever the word nervous comes, nervous, it is something related to your brain or your spinal cord. Okay, so it is going to affect your brain. So physiological examples, you won't be able to do basic tasks with your hands and with your legs. You won't be able to walk in a straight line, for example. Central nervous system, anything, कुछ भी बोलोगे, किसी को भी कुछ भी call कर दोगे, कुछ भी message type करके भेज दोगे, that generally happens when people have alcohol. Okay, I don't know why we were discussing ethanol and we went so deep into alcohol. I just think um, alcohol is doing a lot of bad for our society, and in many households, sadly, all over the world, not just India, all over the world, in many households, things become ugly because of alcohol. Starting में कुछ लगता नहीं है, but it slowly starts affecting people and their families and their lives. That's why I just went too deep into it. Okay, we're going to move ahead. So this is a poster when they're explaining all the chemistry about vodka. Okay, so if you zoom into this, you can see there's ethanol. Okay, so principal alcohol found in alcoholic beverages. If you can read this, so major केमिस्ट्री का अल्कोहल जो मिलता है अल्कोहलिक बेवरेजेस में, दैट इज इथेनॉल हाइड्रेट्स. व्हाई वाज इट कॉलिंग हाइड्रेट्स? दिस इज इथेनॉल. ओके, ये जो मॉलिक्यूल है इथेनॉल बना, लाइन स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ इथेनॉल. सो जनरली वो वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स के साथ एकदम चिपका होता है अल्कोहल में, इसलिए उसको हाइड्रेट्स बोलते हैं. सो इट्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ हाइड्रेट्स, बट इथेनॉल अल्कोहल में प्रेजेंट होता है. ओके, great. Next, consumption of, again, we are still not done with the side effects of drinking alcohol. Consumption of even a small quantity of pure ethanol. Okay, अब तक हम लोग किसकी बात करते हैं? डाइल्यूट इथेनॉल की. सो वो जो कोई बॉटल होता है दारू का, अल्कोहल का, उसमें प्योर इथेनॉल नहीं होता, वो बहुत डाइल्यूटेड इथेनॉल होता है, बहुत छोटे अमाउंट्स में होता है. बट अगर प्योर इथेनॉल, if someone consumes, even if a small quantity is consumed of pure ethanol, it can be lethal. Lethal का मतलब क्या है? Lethal means you can even die because of it. So very dangerous. Ethanol being good solvent यानी बहुत easily mix होता है, right? It is used in medicines such as tincture iodine. Okay, what is tincture iodine? Tincture iodine is a solution of iodine and ethanol. Okay, you have to remember this. This could be asked in a objective question. What is tincture iodine? So your answer should be tincture iodine is a solution of iodine and ethanol. Cough mixtures. Okay, if you remember, I mean, I don't know if you all would remember, but when I was very young, I used to get cold very often. So whenever I used to get cold, I'm coughing, so the doctor is going to give me the cough syrup, right? And whenever you have cough syrup, you're going to sleep very well. The reason is there's some ethanol in your cough syrups. Okay, so there are a few people in the world who are addicted to the cough syrups. So why is that? Again, because it has ethanol, and ethanol can be addictive sometimes. So, and it's not great for your health. Only when you're not feeling well, you're supposed to take that cough medicine. But sometimes it can be addictive, and that is the reason why it is put in the medicine in the first place, so that you sleep well, right? Once you sleep well, you rest better, rest well, you feel a little better, right? Your body has more time to recover. Okay, so we are going to start looking at chemical properties of ethanol. Okay, so the two things we're going to learn today is reaction with sodium and dehydration reaction. Okay, ये दो chemical reactions हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं for ethanol. Okay, so there is this try this activity given in your textbook. Okay, so what is this? What are they saying? Take 10 ml of ethanol in a big test tube. Okay, एक बड़ा test tube ले लो, उसमें 10 ml ethanol डाल दो. ethanol कैसा है? It is colorless and it is liquid at room temperature. तो उसको, उस liquid को उस test tube में डालना. Okay, cut sodium metal into 2 to 3 pieces of a cereal grain size. cereal यानी छोटा सा दाना जितना, 2-3 pieces कर दो सोडियम के. Okay, next, put the sodium pieces into ethanol in the test tube. Okay, तो जो सोडियम के छोटे छोटे पीसेस किए उसको फिर टेस्ट ट्यूब में डाल दो. नेक्स्ट, fix the gas delivery tube to the test tube. Take a burning candle near the outlet of the gas delivery tube and observe. तो इसमें से क्या करना है? इसमें से एक पाइप डालना है, और वो पाइप जो है उसका जो दूसरा एंड होगा उस पाइप का, वो हमें एक बर्निंग कैंडल के पास रखना है. ओके, आई एम गोइंग टू रिपीट द एंटायर सेटअप अगेन. एक टेस्ट ट्यूब ले लो, उसमें इथेनॉल डालो, फिर बाद में सोडियम के छोटे छोटे पीसेस करो, सोडियम के पीसेस उस टेस्ट ट्यूब में डालो इथेनॉल वाले, उसमें से एक पाइप निकालो, वो पाइप का जो दूसरा एंड है वो एक बर्निंग कैंडल के पास रखना है. ओके, दैट्स व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. ओके, Now let's start looking at the activity. Okay, and you have to make observations. Okay, you have to make observations. What all are you seeing? So you have to focus and you have to have a keen eye. क्या क्या हो रहा है उसमें? Okay. So first let us see how do you cut sodium. So sodium is a metal, right? Or metal जब हम लोग सोचते हैं what comes in our mind? Copper comes in our mind, manganese comes in our mind, iron comes in our mind, nickel comes in our mind. Can you cut these metals using knife? The answer is no, right? तुम लोग कोई भी metal की चीज ले लो और उसको knife से cut करो या फिर spoon से cut करो, obviously it's not going to get cut because it's metal. Metal strong होते हैं, but sodium is a special metal जिसको तुम लोग spoon से भी cut कर सकते हो. इतना weak होता है वो. So sodium metal is not that strong, okay? इतना hard नहीं होता, तो तुम spoon से भी cut कर सकते हो, knife से भी cut कर सकते हो, as you can see over here. Okay, so you're done making pieces of sodium metal. Now we're going to put it in a test tube filled with ethanol. Okay, so let's put it in a test tube filled with ethanol and let's observe. Okay, वो इथेनॉल वाला जो पीस था वो ऊपर आ गया एंड आई कैन सी इट्स डांसिंग. वैसा नॉर्मली रह नहीं रहा. दे जस्ट केप्ट द, वो लोग ने टेस्ट ट्यूब को वही के वही रखा है, बट वो जो इथेनॉल है वो डांस कर रहा है अंदर. ऑल्सो आई कैन सी सम गैस कमिंग आउट. यहाँ पे देखो वेपर्स निकल रहे हैं, राइट? यस, आई कैन सी व्हाइट कलर्ड वेपर्स कमिंग आउट. ओके, लेट अस सी दिस वन मोर टाइम. ओके, ही इज पुटिंग द सोडियम इनसाइड. वो सोडियम का जो पीस है वो अपने आप ऊपर आ जाता है एंड स्टार्ट्स डांसिंग. It starts moving around एकदम टॉप पे आके and you can see some vapors coming out. Okay, white कलर का कोई ना कोई गैस निकलते हुए दिख रहा है हमें. Okay, so ये स्टेप अगर हमारा हो गया, what is the next step? Next step is to इसमें से एक पाइप निकालना था और वो पाइप को हमें कैंडल के पास रखना था, right? So we are not going to, I mean, I'll show that you through a different video. Okay, what we are going to do is वो जो गैस निकल रहा है उसको हम लोग एक burning flame के सामने रखने वाले हैं. And there's a particular sound that is going to come. So you have to pay attention to the sound. कौन सा साउंड आ रहा है? ओके, सो पे अटेंशन टू द साउंड एंड यू पास दिस गैस नियर अ फ्लेम. ओके,
ready? You did it. Cool. Okay, that's a hydrogen pop test.
Okay, I hope you heard the sound. If you did not hear the sound in the first time, वो जो टेस्ट ट्यूब है उसके हाथ में, उसके अंदर वो गैस है, सेम गैस है. ओके, एंड ही हैज प्लग्ड इट थ्रू अ कॉर्क. फिर बाद में वो कॉर्क निकाल के अंदर का जो गैस है वो फ्लेम के पास लेके जा रहा है. we are going to listen to the sound one more time. Okay, one last time you're going to listen to the sound.
Ready? You did it. Cool. Okay, that's a hydrogen
Okay,
pop
we have
test.
heard the sound. Now let us see what were our observations. So my first observation was obviously a gas is being released. It was clearly being seen. Next, the gas is hydrogen gas because it makes pop sound when it is brought near a fire. Okay, so जब भी hydrogen gas को तुम एक fire के पास लेके आओगे, you will always distinctly hear that pop sound. फटाक से पूरा hydrogen gas use हो जाता है और जितना जल्दी use हो जाता है because it is being used so quickly, वो एक pop sound आता है. Okay, so just the sound you are hearing was a pop sound. Is generally made by hydrogen gas. So we can say that the gas which was released when ethanol was reacted with sodium, the gas was hydrogen gas. Okay, next, the sodium pieces appear to dance on the surface of ethanol. Okay, ऐसा स्टेबल नहीं था, ऊपर हमेशा मूव करते रह रहा था, वो भी सरफेस ऑफ इथेनॉल के ऊपर. व्हाई वाज दिस हैपनिंग? नाउ लेट अस गो टू इन्फरेंसेस. ओके, ऑब्जर्वेशंस के बाद हमेशा साइंस में इन्फरेंस होता है. ऑब्जर्वेशन से क्या सीखने मिला? व्हाट कैन यू कंक्लूड फ्रॉम द observation? So that is called as inferences. Okay, what is inferences? It's nothing but your conclusions. So the inferences you can draw is the sodium piece appears to dance on the surface of ethanol because the gas released in the reaction pushes it across the surface. Okay, वो पहले नीचे जाता. Okay, वो जो सोडियम का पीस है पहले नीचे चला जाएगा टेस्ट ट्यूब के, बट जैसे रिएक्शन शुरू हो जाएगा अंदर से इतना जोर से और इतना फास्ट और इतनी ज्यादा फोर्स से वो गैस बाहर निकलने वाला है कि वो पूरा का सोडियम का जो पीस है वो ऊपर आ जाएगा एंड इट वोंट बी स्टेबल ऑन द सर्फेस ऑल्सो, क्योंकि अंदर से वो गैस निकलते जा रहा है. It will keep dancing on the surface. Okay, that's first inference. Also, they have asked in the textbook itself, repeat the above procedure using magnesium ribbon instead of sodium. Do you see a gas bubble released from the piece of magnesium ribbon? Does magnesium metal react with ethanol? Okay, so उन्होंने बोला कि same experiment magnesium ribbon के साथ करो. We are not going to say do that experiment again with magnesium ribbon because इतना budget नहीं है हमारे पास. So I'm going to directly tell you the answer that Answer is simple. Answer is to both the question is no. Okay, कोई गैस रिलीज नहीं होने वाला अगर तुम इथेनॉल में मैग्नीशियम डालोगे तो, और मैग्नीशियम मेटल इथेनॉल के साथ रिएक्ट नहीं होता. Okay. So now that we have seen the experiment, we have seen the reaction. Now let us study the reaction. Okay. So how does ethanol react with sodium? This is the reaction which happens. Okay. Ethanol. So methane, ethane, दो carbon atoms. So one, two carbon atoms. All means alcohol, any OH group. So this is your ethanol. When it reacts with sodium, what is going to happen is ये H निकल जाएगा. Okay, ये H निकल जाएगा और H के पे सोडियम आ जाएगा. So take this H out and put sodium over here. You will get this. ओके यहाँ पे देखो OH था, OH की जगह पे O Na आ गया, Na is सोडियम. ये H निकल गया, राइट? जो H निकल गया that comes out as hydrogen gas, which you have seen through the activity. Okay, what is the name of this compound? Very interesting name, sodium ethoxide. Okay, what is the name? Sodium ethoxide. Okay, so a general rule is all alcohols react with sodium metal to liberate hydrogen gas and form sodium alkoxide salts. Again, I don't know why I just love this word. Okay, alkoxide salts. So all alcohols react in the same way. Okay, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग ने इथेनॉल लिया है, so इसके यहाँ पे समझो मिथेनॉल लिया होता, so मिथेनॉल का भी H निकल के सोडियम आ जाता और यहाँ पे सोडियम इथॉक्साइड के यहाँ पे सोडियम मिथॉक्साइड आ जाता. ओके, समझो पेंटेनॉल लिया मैंने, 5 कार्बन एटम्स वाला अल्कोहल पेंटेनॉल. सो पेंटेनॉल में भी सोडियम हाइड्रोजन हट जाता, सोडियम यहाँ पे आ जाता और हाइड्रोजन गैस रिलीज होता. सोडियम इथॉक्साइड के यहाँ पे सोडियम पेंटॉक्साइड बोलते हैं उसको. ओके, so in general alkoxide बोल देंगे उसको, alkoxide salts. Also one more rule of thumb to remember is in the reaction of ethanol with sodium metal, hydrogen gas and sodium ethoxide are formed as products. You need to remember this. Okay, it's an important reaction. That's why they've given this huge activity in your textbook. Remember this reaction. Okay, I'm going to move ahead. Next, dehydration reaction we're going to look at. Okay, dehydration. What does the meaning of the word dehydration? Okay, hydration में कौन सा पार्ट है? हाइड्रो मीन्स वाटर. सो हाइड्रेशन का मतलब क्या होगा? इनटेक ऑफ वाटर ऐड हो जाना, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज हाइड्रेशन. ओके, so sometimes when you drink water you will say okay I am hydrated. Okay, after you drink a little bit of water you're going to say I am feeling hydrated now. Hydrated यानी पानी ऐड हो गया मेरे बॉडी में. डिहाइड्रेशन उसका उल्टा होगा. व्हाट इज डिहाइड्रेशन? अगर इफ यू वॉकिंग इन द सन फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, यू आर वेरी थर्स्टी और चक्कर आके गिर गए, यू विल से दैट पर्सन हैज बीन डिहाइड्रेटेड, यानी उसके बॉडी में से पूरा पानी निकल गया. सो डिहाइड्रेशन मींस लॉस ऑफ वाटर, पानी निकल जाना. ओके, सो डिहाइड्रेशन रिएक्शन में क्या होने वाला है? पानी निकलने वाला है. ओके, सो व्हाट इज हियर? दिस इज इथेनॉल, राइट? So what you're doing is when ethanol is heated at the temperature of 170 degrees Celsius, तो इसको 170 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे हीट करें इथेनॉल को with excess amount of concentrated sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid का molecular formula क्या है? H2SO4. Okay, it is concentrated and excess amount में बहुत ज्यादा sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid हम लोग इथेनॉल में डाल रहे हैं and we are heating it to 170 degrees Celsius. What is going to happen is one molecule of water is removed from this molecule to form ethene, an unsaturated compound. So यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे OH है, so OH निकल जाएगा. अभी OH निकल गया, but हमें क्या चाहिए? पानी चाहिए. It is dehydration, right? So water molecule has to come out. So OH निकल गया, पानी बनने के लिए क्या चाहिए उसके पास? उसको और क्या चाहिए पानी बनने के लिए? और एक हाइड्रोजन. H2O is water, right? So it needs one more hydrogen. So यहाँ से OH निकल गया, एक और हाइड्रोजन कहाँ से लेगा? यहाँ से ले लेगा. So one hydrogen it will take out from here. Here it has OH. So यहाँ से एक H, यहाँ से एक H, H2, and this O will become H2O. But इस कार्बन एटम को एक इलेक्ट्रॉन अभी कम मिलेगा क्योंकि एक इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे OH से मिल रहा था. इस कार्बन एटम को भी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन कम मिलेगा क्योंकि इसको एक इलेक्ट्रॉन एक हाइड्रोजन एटम से मिल रहा था. वो भी हाइड्रोजन एटम निकल के वाटर बन गया. सो अभी इस कार्बन एटम को एक एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन चाहिए, इस कार्बन एटम को भी एक एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन चाहिए. सो व्हाट दे आर गोइंग टू डू इज वो लोग एक दूसरे से एक एक एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन ले लेंगे. सो ये कार्बन एटम राइट साइड वाले कार्बन एटम से एक एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन ले लेगा और ये कार्बन एटम लेफ्ट साइड वाले कार्बन एटम से एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन ले लेगा. सो इसलिए यहाँ पे सिंगल बॉन्ड का डबल बॉन्ड हो जाता है क्योंकि तुमने H निकाल दिया, O निकाल दिया, यहाँ से भी H निकाल दिया, तो एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन कहीं से तो आना चाहिए, राइट? तो कहाँ से आएगा? लोग आपस में शेयर कर लेंगे, तो सिंगल बॉन्ड का डबल बॉन्ड बन जाएगा. सो दैट्स योर डिहाइड्रेशन रिएक्शन. ओके, सो हियर they are saying concentrated sulfuric acid acts as dehydrating agent. If you remember, we have also seen oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Oxidizing agent यानी जिसकी वजह से oxidation reaction होता है, that is called as oxidizing agent or oxidant. Similarly, जिसकी वजह से reduction reaction होता है, it is called as reducing agent or reductant. Similarly, जिसके वजह से dehydration reaction होता है, it is called as dehydrating agent. Because of H2SO4, the dehydration reaction is taking place. That's why it is called as dehydrating agent. Okay, that's all about dehydration reaction. Now you are ready to solve. Use your brain power type of question given in your textbook. Okay. Explain by writing a reaction what will happen when pieces of sodium metal are put in N-propyl alcohol. What is N-propyl alcohol? It is propanol. Okay. एन प्रोपेनॉल का कॉमन नेम है एन प्रोपाइल अल्कोहल बट वी प्रीफर आयुपैक नेम. आयुपैक नेम क्या है? प्रोपेनॉल. सो ड्रॉप प्रोपेनॉल फर्स्ट, write a reaction of propanol with sodium and write what the products will be. Similarly, the second one is explain by writing a reaction which product will be formed on heating N-butyl alcohol. What is N-butyl alcohol? Butanol. Okay, butane plus alcohol, butanol. So when you heat butanol with concentrated sulfuric acid, what will be the reaction? Both of these we have just studied. Okay, पहले वाले reactions देखो और उसको use करके तुम्हें ये reactions नहीं लिखने. Okay, I'm going to wait for 5 seconds for you to pause the video here and write this reaction by yourself. Okay, I'll wait for 5 seconds. Okay, I hope you paused the video and have written the reaction. See, only when you try to write your reaction by yourself and make mistakes, only then you will learn, right? So whenever I tell you to pause the video and actually write something by yourself, do try it so that either if you get it correct, your confidence is going to increase. अच्छा मुझे तो आता है, I'm being prepared for the board exam. Or if you're making a mistake, you'll understand where you're making mistake and you'll correct it then and there itself. Exam तक तुम्हें रुकना नहीं पड़ेगा उसको correct करने के लिए. Okay, now let us see the answers. The first one में sodium metal with propanol. Okay, so here is my propanol. Propanol यानी मीथेन, इथेन, प्रोपेन, right? So तीन कार्बन एटम्स होने चाहिए. So one carbon atom, two carbon atom, three carbon atom, and all alcohol, right? So OH add कर दिया यहाँ पे. So this is my propanol and reacting it with sodium. The same logic will apply. The logic which we used last time. Okay. The logic is यहाँ से एक हाइड्रोजन निकल के यहाँ पे सोडियम अटैच हो जाएगा और हाइड्रोजन गैस रिलीज हो जाएगा. Okay, so that's what's happening here. And we had seen the common name of that the salt, right? Alkoxide salt. So इसको तुम लोग क्या बोलोगे? Propoxide salt, sodium propoxide. So इसका नाम क्या? Sodium propoxide. And hydrogen gas is released. You have to just see the previous equation और उसको replicate करना था. I've forgotten to write copy over here, but make sure you're copying this particular answer. Okay, do copy this. I forgot to put the copy sign over here. Next, similarly, the second one, butanol. Butanol को हमें concentrated H2SO4 में 170 degree Celsius में heat करना था. Okay, so what is going to happen again? Very similar to what happened in the last one. In the last dehydration reaction that we had seen, क्या मिलने वाला है? डिहाइड्रेशन यानी वाटर मॉलिक्यूल बाहर निकलने वाला है. सो वाटर मॉलिक्यूल बाहर निकलने वाला है. सो यहाँ से OH बाहर निकल गया, बट उसको एक और हाइड्रोजन चाहिए. वो एक और हाइड्रोजन कहाँ से आएगा? इस वाले हाइड्रोजन से आ जाएगा. ओके, सो इफ यू सी यहाँ पे CH2 था, वो CH2 का क्या होगा? CH हो गया. ये CH2 वैसे का वैसे रहेगा. इफ यू सी लास्ट टाइम ऑल्सो हियर यहाँ से OH निकल गया, तो ये CH2 था, CH2 वैसे के वैसे रह गया. बट उसके पीछे का जो CH3 था, उसमें से CH3 का CH2 हो गया, ये क्योंकि यहाँ से वो एक हाइड्रोजन चुरा लेता है. सिमिलरली हियर यहाँ से OH निकल गया, एक और हाइड्रोजन वो यहाँ से नहीं लेगा, वो यहाँ से हाइड्रोजन ले लेगा. सो ये CH2 का CH हो गया. दिस विल रिमेन CH2. ओके, एंड बीच में डबल बॉन्ड आ जाएगा क्योंकि उनको एक और एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन की जरूरत पड़ेगी. what is being formed? But1ene. Okay, but1ene is being formed. So that's your answer to the two use your brain power type of questions. Okay, I hope you will be now be able to solve these reactions by yourself. अगर question में बोला पेंटेनॉल को अगर 170 डिग्रीज पे हीट किया in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, you should be able to write the equation. Okay, the same logic will apply. Okay, that's it for this learning session. Let us see what are the new words we learned today. Commercial मतलब something related to making profit through selling products. Soluble यानी mix हो जाना. Condemned यानी considered bad by the society, considered not to be good by the society. Physiological यानी related to our functions of our body. Nervous system means related to our brain and spinal cord. Consumption यानी eating or drinking. Okay. Lethal is deadly. Inference means conclusion. These are the new words we learned today. So just check whether you have accomplished the learning objectives for today. Will you be able to explain chemical properties of ethanol to anyone using examples and the two reactions, dehydration reaction and reaction with sodium? You should be able to explain them with examples. Okay. So that's it for this learning session. I hope you had fun during the reactions, during the activities, and I hope we'll see each other in the next one. Till then, bye and peace.